And in this video, we want to take a look at a Power BI desktop file where we're setting up dynamic row level security. And this is a use case where your users have unique access needs, such as Steve here needs access to these two regions, Bob maybe just one, Janet and Linda overlap on needing access to this region. And so you can see where we have to create something that's going to cater to each individual user's need. The way the tables are set up, and here I have a screenshot of it, we have 4 tables, and below each table is a screenshot of what that data is in that table. So we have a users table connected to a many-to-many or a bridge table. This is users and region connected together, a regions table that connects to our sales table. And what we're trying to do is apply a filter or row level security to the users table, or using information from the users table and passing that all the way down to the regions table. Now this would be possible under normal circumstances by just saying who's logged in, filter this table. But because this is a many-to-many relationship, this filter table isn't going to pass anymore. So one way to do this would be to say, oh, just make these bi-directional relationships, which would work in this case, but that introduces other problems and may not be accessible or desirable for your specific build. So we're going to do this using DAX. And to do that, what I have are 4 steps. We're going to walk through the steps. I'm not focused so much on building each measure. I've already built them. I've numbered them to match this. We're going to look at how to build this DAX expression from the pieces that comprise it. So the first piece of this expression is to retrieve the user ID from the users table. And here I have that already filled out. And we're going to use the lookup value measure or lookup value expression. And here we're going to return the user ID using the user's email as the match term and the username expression to pull that in from Power BI. And here we have that this measure is here on the page showing my user ID of number 1. So once we have that, we can actually copy this piece of that measure out because we're going to use it again. So we're going to step to number 2. So now that we have that user ID, we're going to go to that bridge table and we're going to filter that users regions bridge table based on the user ID from number 1. So what we're effectively doing is coming to that user regions table here and saying, hey, just show me the information relevant for user ID 1, which is going to return a filtered result. So to do that, we'll use the filter expression. So we're going to filter the users regions table where the user region user ID is equal to that value that's returned from the previous expression or the previous measure. In this case, the lookup value, where it's equal to 1 in this case. Because this is a filter expression, it's not going to actually show us a result. It's going to give us an error since this is returning a table and not a scalar value. We're just going to leave that as is right now. If we wanted to see those results, you could wrap that in a concatenate X and pull that information out. Step 3 is to select the column of our region ID table from our region ID column from the table we returned in number 2. So basically we filtered this table. Now we want to go get this column from it. So our third step is to take and use the select columns expression. The table we're going to filter is basically the combination of the 2 DAX expressions we just used. So we've filtered that table. We're going to say, hey, use that table, but just tell us the region ID. Just go get the column with the region IDs in it. That's what this expression is doing. Now, this is the one we're actually going to use to set our row level security. And so step 4 is to take this now combination expression and put it into our roles. And we're going to come up to the modeling tab, select manage roles. Here we have a user role created. And selecting the regions table, this is where we want to filter. We're going to add a filter on user ID. And here, instead of value, we're just going to paste the expression, the measure that we used up to that point. Now, if we tried to hit this, it's correct DAX, everything works, but the problem that's going to be introduced is with this equal sign. For this row level security to work and for this expression to work, we need to change this from an equal sign to the in operator. And then in operator is similar to SQL where this expression, this measure is returning multiple results. And so we need to say, hey, filter the region IDs here that belong in this set that are going to be returned from this set. And we know from experience, this is returning A and B. So I'm going to save that role And now if I come in and view as that role, remember I'm the one logged in here, so we should see Northeast and Midwest. As I simulate that role, it's going to filter our sales table to show us those two regions. So this effectively would work across any organization and any structure, so long as the table is organized accordingly. But it's a quick and easy way to get information from our users table, pass it over a many-to-many relationship, and introduce it to our sales table using that in operator and the select columns and filter combination. Okay, I've hoped you enjoyed this Azure Everyday, and join me again for another one down the road. Thank you very much.